We start the hour with breaking news. Comes from the New York Times. A report that the Justice Department under President Trump seized Apple account information for lawmakers, their aides, even family members. Now, Democrats have demanded an investigation into the report, which says that the DOJ sought the data to try and find out who was leaking information to the media. Congressman Adam Schiff was one of the lawmakers affected. He has called for an investigation and called it a, quote, terrible abuse of power.
This looks like a patent abuse of the department. Yet another example of the president politicizing, using the Department of Justice as a cudgel to go after his enemies.
Neither former attorneys general Bill Barr nor Jeff Sessions have responded to NBC News' request for comment, and the Biden Justice Department did not issue a comment to NBC. Let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Cefalos right now. So, Danny, I want to kind of start off with sort of explaining why might the DOJ want this information for looking into what was happening a few years ago.
The DOJ historically, and not just Trump's DOJ, but other presidents' Department of Justice, has investigated leaks to reporters in the past, and they've issued subpoenas for that purpose. So this is in itself nothing new, but the breadth and the aggressive nature of these requests is what is bringing them under scrutiny. You know, there is a general idea that leaks to the press are kind of a tradition in America, even though there's no constitutional provision for them. Much like there's no special First Amendment protection for the press, but a general understanding that the press is to be a little more protected than just Joe Schmo on the street when it comes to the First Amendment. So the aggressiveness of these investigations are what is so interesting.
And Danny, I mean, how unusual is this it's one thing to maybe be trying to get this information about reporters, but other members of Congress, how unusual is that?
Very unusual, at least to the extent that we publicly know about it. I mean, this is a perfect example. The subpoenas also included gag orders, which prevented companies like Apple and have prevented reporters like at CNN in the past from even disclosing that they were forced to reveal documents and communications. So to the extent we know about it, it is highly unusual. And even the DOJ itself, policy that says that reporters' information is to be a kind of last resort, even though, again, there is no special constitutional protection for reporters. And of course, you could also argue for members of Congress as well.
And no doubt this is just the beginning of this. We know that Congressman Schiff would like to see an inquiry. What do you think is going to happen next as this story continues to unfold?
I think Congressman Schiff is right in wanting an inquiry. Any kind of dragnet that catches up minors, children's data is something that has to be pretty justified. Investigations of members of Congress are also highly unusual. And I'm surprised if at the end of this, I understand the DOJ has to investigate leaks, but on the other hand, I would be curious to see in any investigation whether independent DOJ lawyers who know the law and know the rules are able to justify this kind of investigation at this level.
All right, Danny Cefalos, thanks for helping us break down this big story this morning. Appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.